Hey guys, check it out. I'm wiring up new off-road lights on Yoshi as I work on getting this vehicle back together. Got the new ARB bumper on last week, and now I'm doing these off-road lights, and they are replacing these old tired ones which came with the vehicle when I bought it many moons ago. But you can see the lenses are all yellowed out, and they were never, you know, super bright to begin with. But I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm almost done, but I just figured I might as well make a quick video. These are Oxbeam brand, and I went with the 5-inch version. I'll put links to this stuff all in the description, of course, but I went with the 5-inch version just because I'm real cognizant of blocking airflow in through the grill. Help the vehicle cool down. You know, I've seen plenty of vehicles have cooling issues when they get too much stuff in the way of airflow. And with the winch control box already here, I didn't want to go too massive with like a 7-inch spotlight or something. So I've got a 5-inch light here. Now I've got them set up currently with the clear lenses, obviously, but they do come with yellow lenses, like amber lenses. The only downside is they're not cool where you can just like pop them on. That would be awesome, because then you really get the best of both worlds. And amber or yellow lenses are great for cutting through dust and not reflecting as bad off of like road signs and blinding you at night. But to switch them out, I have to just remove all these little hex screws, remove the clear lens, put in the amber one, and then tighten it back out. So I'm gonna run it with clear for right now, see how I like it, and then I'll probably try out the amber, see how I like that. But anyways, what I've done here, just real simple to walk you guys through things. Stock on the ARB bumper, there is a hole, one here and one here, already pre-drilled into it for this purpose, so I didn't have to do anything there. And you can see with this Smittybilt, which one is this? Smittybilt X2O 12,000 pound winch in here, I can still get to the control handle just fine through here. Like, yeah, it's a little tight, but I can reach it. Now, back to the main topic of today's video, and that is, I figured I would show you how I'm wiring these up. Now, this wasn't my idea. This was Toasty Fab, who I bought this vehicle from a long time ago. This is the way he did his fog lights, and I really liked it because they integrate with the factory switch. So, if you have a limited version of the Gen 3, you're going to have fog lights. And so this is the factory harness for fog lights. All that I've done here is unplug it, plugs in on the driver's side of the vehicle, and then I've taken the wiring loom that came with the brand new Oxbeam lights and snipped off like 6 inches, 8 inches of the very end that plugs in to the back of the lights. So this right here is the Oxbeam, part of the Oxbeam wire loom, and that plugs in to these really nice fancy waterproof connectors that come with the light. So I snipped those off, and then it's just, you know, a red and black wire. And same thing on the factory harness. I'm sorry for doing this now. I just had the idea to film this. I should have done it when I was doing this work to show you guys a little bit closer. But there's really nothing to it. This factory harness, there's one side here for one light, and another side here for the other fog light. And you just peel back this protective sheathing, and you'll find one red wire and one black wire. You just strip some length of each, and then connect it to the corresponding wire on the Oxbeam harness. Now, a couple things. As I've said before, I'm not great with electrical stuff, so take everything that I'm saying with a massive grain of salt, because I don't know anything about ohms, about resistance, about gauge of wire, about amperage, current, none of that stuff, okay? So, one thing I did notice is that the thickness of the Oxbeam insulation and the wire itself was quite a bit thicker than the factory wire harness line. Will that make a difference? I don't know. I've turned on the lights, I've test fitted, and they come on. Are they coming on less bright than they would have if I'd used the same gauge of wire? Like, is there a voltage drop? I don't know. Are they going to overheat over time if I have them on for a long time? I don't know. If you know, please post below, and if it's something critical, then I can rerun them with the same gauge of wire. But I never had any issues with the previous lights, and yeah, they were probably lower power draw than these new ones, but again, I'm putting that out there. Now, how did I connect them? You could go with butt connectors, but I've been a big fan of these right here. These like connectors that have solder. Why is it so bright in here? Here we go. Solder built into them in the middle, and then these two little red things on the end help grab the wire and keep it in place. So all you do is you strip some wire from each side. So you put one wire in this way, one wire in this way, and then they meet in the middle, and you get the strands, like the actual metal strands intermingling in this area. And then you just hit it with a heat gun, and that will take up this clear stuff, which is a heat shrink tubing. It'll shrink that so it grabs the actual like insulated portion of the wire, and then where the metal strands are touching, this ball of solder will liquefy and collapse and then fuse the individual strands together. So I've been using these a lot lately and having really good results with them. The one caveat is whenever I've tried to use a lighter, I haven't been successful, and the flame, maybe I get it too close or it's just too hot, and it actually burns through the insulation, through the heat shrink. So now I always use a heat gun, and I keep it moving and don't concentrate on one spot for too long. And it'll take a little while, but eventually you will see that solder liquefy. Like it'll run, and it'll be pretty noticeable when it happens. And so that is what's going on under here. And then I just have some heat shrink tubing that I have covering the entire connection. And so that's it. That's the factory wire harness. And now I can just plug in the two off-road lights, run this underneath the bumper, zip tie it all nicely out of the way, plug it in on the corresponding side. That's already, part of the vehicle. And then boom, the fog light switch on the driver's side of the steering wheel will activate these off-road lights. Just a cleaner appearance than having to add like another switch in the cabin. And so anyways, hope that helps someone. Again, that's what it's looking like. It's looking really cool. And as always, thanks for watching.